Hi, I'm Natalie Rhodes, and this is Into Math's 5th grade, Module 20, Lesson 3. I'm going to start off by going over the I can objective. It says I can classify and compare quadrilaterals, and the learning objective is to classify and compare quadrilaterals using their attributes. Prior learning is that students classified two-dimensional figures using angle measures and the presence or absence of parallel or perpendicular segments. Students identified and recognized the relationships between categories of figures, including quadrilaterals. All right, so moving into the lesson on page 505, it says farmlands, when viewed from above, often look like they are divided into different polygons, including quadrilaterals. Look at the quadrilaterals shown. Make a list of 5 attributes that a quadrilateral can have. Then write the number of each quadrilateral matching each attribute. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on the sides. So if they have parallel sides or if they have equal sides, and I'm just going to break that up into 5 different parts. So the first one is you can have 2 parallel sides or you can have no parallel sides. So the first one is going to be 2 parallel or 0 parallel. Then with equal sides, you can have 4 equal sides, 2 equal sides, or 0 equal sides. So 4 equal, 2 equal, or 0 equal. All right, so let's just go one at a time and then figure out where it fits in. So for number 1, that square there, we see that it does have 2 parallel sides. So we're going to put a 1 there. And then for the sides, it has 4 equal sides, which also means that it has 2 equal sides. Okay, so even though it has 4, you still have to put it under 2 so that the entire list that's in the 4 equal sides is also going to repeat in the 2 equal sides. All right, so let's go ahead and look at number 2. So number 2 is a longer rectangle. It does have 2 parallel sides, so I'm going to put a 2 here. And then it does have at least 2 equal sides, right? It's not all 4 equal, but it does have 2 equal sides, so then I'll just add the 2 to here. For the 3, none of those sides are matching parallel, right? They don't match parallel, so that's in the 0 parallel. It's going to be 3. And then none of those side lengths are equal. So then my 3 would go into the 0 equal lengths. All right, 4 is up in that corner. Again, none of those sides are going to be parallel. And none of those sides are going to be equal either, because it's an odd shape. 5 looks like it's going to be the same. None of those are parallel. And none of those have an equal length. All right, 6 is kind of in the middle, that really skinny, tall rectangle. So 6 does have 2 parallel sides, right? 2 parallel going this way and 2 parallel going this way. So add 6 up there. And not all the lengths are side, but it does have at least 2 equal lengths, so we can add the 6 there. All right, for the 7, that's a nice equal square. So it does have parallel sides, and all 4 of those lengths look pretty equal. So we're going to add the 4 to the 4 equal sides, or I'm sorry, that's supposed to be a 7. So we're going to add the 7 to the 4 equal sides and the 7 to the 2 equal sides. All right, now we're going to go on to 8, and 8 is underneath the 6 and the 7 going this way. So again, these are parallel lines, so we're going to add 8. And they're not all matching, but these are matching, and then the 2 on the end are matching. So then 2 equal sides, you're going to add the 8 to the 2 equal sides. All right, the 9 is the really skinny one on the side of 7 and 8. So that 9, it does have parallel lines. And the 2 along the side are equal, and then the 2 along the edges are equal. So those do have 2 equal side lengths. And then the 10 is the one going diagonally off of 9. So again, those do have parallel lines. And then it doesn't, let me see, those sides do look like they are pretty equal. So it does look like it has all 4 equal sides. So I'm going to put 10 in the 4 equal sides and in the 2 equal sides. Then 11, 11 is a triangle. So we're just doing attributes of quadrilaterals. So we're going to totally skip 11. 11 is the only triangle in there, and we're focusing on quadrilaterals. So 11 doesn't fit into anything. So we're going to skip 11 and then go straight to 12. 12 does have, looks exactly like a parallelogram. So 12 does have parallel lines going diagonal and on the top and the bottom. So you're going to add 12 to the parallel lines. And then you're going to add, it only has all the lines aren't equal, but it does have 2 equal lines. The top and the bottom are equal, and then the diagonals are equal. So you would add those to the 2 equal lines. All right, so that is how we're going to categorize all of those shapes into 5 different attributes by the parallel lines and the equal lengths. All right, so let's go ahead and flip the page. So now we want to complete the chart. So it says some quadrilaterals can be classified by more than one attribute. So at the very top, it has a quadrilateral, meaning any shape with 4 sides. Then it says 2 pairs of congruent or parallel sides. So yes, if it has 2 pairs of congruent parallel sides, what is that called? And just letting you know, the 4 openings are the 4 words over to the right in the yellow that are highlighted yellow. So if you have the biggest shape, then under that umbrella or that bracket, if all the sides are congruent, what is that called? And then if all the sides are at right angles, if every single side is at a right angle, what is that called? And then all sides are congruent, all sides meet at right angles, what is that called? That it has all equal shapes and right angles, what is that called? Then for B, what attributes does a square have in common with a rhombus? So look at the square and look at the rhombus and just tell me what they have in common. And then for C, what attributes does a rectangle have in common with a parallelogram? So now you're going to look at the rectangle and the parallelogram and then tell me what those 2 shapes have in common. All right, so go ahead and try this page on your own. Hit pause and then we will come back and do it together. So go ahead and hit pause here. All right, great. Let's go ahead and do these together. So at the top is the quadrilateral. Then underneath it, we have the parallelogram. So that is the quadrilateral with pairs of opposite sides that are congruent and parallel. So they're both equal and parallel to each other. So we want to write in this shape that it's a parallelogram. Then we're going to say all the sides are congruent. If all the sides are congruent, then we would say that that shape is a rhombus. Then if all the sides meet at right angles, that would be our rectangle, because our rectangle has the right angles, but it doesn't have all the right sides. So that would be at a rectangle. Then if all the sides are congruent, equal, all the sides meet at a right angle, that would be our square. So what attributes does a square have in common with a rhombus? Well, a square and a rhombus all have 4 equal sides. So a square has 4 equal sides that all meet at right angles, and then the rhombus is 4 equal sides, but it's just slanted slightly. It's just like a square, but if you just slanted it slightly. So these have 4 equal sides. Then what attributes does a rectangle and a parallelogram have? Again, that's the same thing. A square and a rhombus, a square is upright and then a rhombus is just kind of tilted. It's the same thing with a rectangle, right? A rectangle is if you just stretched out that square, and then a parallelogram is if you take out that stretched square rectangle and then you just slant it a little bit. That would be a parallelogram. So a parallelogram is just a stretched out rhombus. All right, so these would be that the opposite sides are parallel. All right, that is it for this lesson. Go ahead and finish up the rest of your problems, and I'll see you back for Module 20, Lesson 4.